Hello, Brian. Lovely to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you as well, Özlem.
I would like to welcome you to Wellness for Business at Canary Wharf Business Buzz Hub. This is where we spotlight our wonderful businesses, and during the spotlight, we also touch on wellness. There are two elements to that. The first element is the wellness of the business. It could be the cash flow, structures, plans, metrics to do with the health of a business. And the second element is the health and well-being of the humans that make that business. You and I, Brian, have known each other for a little while now. I'd like to say your lovely, thoughtful, and intellectual presence at our events is highly appreciated. And I know that you are a super experienced, highly experienced cybersecurity consultant. You have a cybersecurity business. It's an honor and pleasure to have you in our network. Could you please tell us now a bit about your work and what you do?
Absolutely, yes. But first of all, thank you for the welcome. So, yes, you're absolutely right. I run a cybersecurity business and also help people with AI risk management. You know, when you're worried that your business might get hit by hackers and fraud, we help CEOs and entrepreneurs clearly identify the risks and protect their finance and reputations.
Amazing. And doesn't matter how large or small the business is, from one person to thousands of people.
Absolutely not. We work with everything from solopreneurs up to FTSE quoted companies.
So what do you see currently then, Brian, as a real threat to businesses in terms of cybersecurity?
The common method of attack at the moment is from people giving away their access credentials. So their logon name and their password and other credentials that allow them to access their systems and things like Microsoft 365, Google Cloud, etc. And that's, you know, we've seen that with Marks and Spencer's, which was where it was a very clever attack, but it still ended up with a person's password being reset, allowing the hackers access to Marks and Spencer's with the devastating consequences that we've all seen.
So true. So, Brian, if one of our businesses at the Hub approach you to work with them, what is your process like? What do you do?
Well, first of all, we love to work with people on preventative measures first. It's much more fun to prevent it happening than having to come and help them recover from an incident. So we normally kick off preventative work with a risk review, and we look at the organization as a whole. So we would start off looking at the culture of the organization. Is the entrepreneur and the CEO cybersecurity conscious, cybersecurity aware? Because if they're not driving down a cybersecurity culture, why should anybody else in the organization care? Then we'll look at the awareness of the people and whether that needs to be strengthened, the business processes, and then finally, we will look to see whether there's new technology required or reconfiguration of existing technology, because it's usually those first three things we can tweak, which will make the business a lot more secure. And it's probably worth saying, actually, we can never make anybody 100% secure. We're making it that bit more difficult for what we call the threat actors or the hackers to get in. They'll go elsewhere because the risk of them being detected is much greater when you're a secure business.
Thank you, Brian. This sounds really, really helpful. So in your time, you're very experienced in your time doing what you do. What was one fascinating, very interesting, really mind-blowing thing that you saw that you can give as an example to our businesses?
So still working with this client on a regular basis, but this was as we were coming out of the pandemic, actually. The company was in the financial services industry, had lots of money in the business, and the CEO had bought a brand new BMW Series 7, splashed it all over social media. The threat actors picked this up on social media, connected it to his LinkedIn account, and then used that social media posting about the car to attack him. And they managed to, through sending a fake email to him saying that the car had been dented, they managed to get him to give away his Microsoft 365 logon details. And then they were able to use his email account and email the outsourced accountant saying, in exactly the language he would use, please set up a new supplier. Then, when the CEO was traveling, they sent another request to the accountant saying, we've missed a payment deadline. We need to pay this new supplier £100,000 today. The planets aligned on that day because the flight was delayed and the CEO picked up the payment request because the accountant only had an £80,000 payment limit, and they connected the dots that they'd been hacked, and they got us in, and we were able to join the dots and show them how they'd been hacked. Now he doesn't post so much to social media. They're much more secure.
You and I were just talking about social media before this spotlight, and I love your use of it. You're so good. Bryan, that's fascinating. And what you depicted there is the type of thing where we think, oh, that's never going to happen to us. All those little details and bits and pieces, oh, that's too much of a coincidence. Most of us think that way. You don't, and people who are as conscious as you around cybersecurity don't. But we are like, oh, what is the likelihood? What is the possibility? It hasn't happened until this moment. Why would it happen? I'm gonna, count on the fact that I'm lucky. Now, one thing about your message that I love is you always say we don't have to fear or stress about cybersecurity. We just get to work with, consultants like you, businesses like you, and just get on with things, really, with comfort and feeling good about it rather than feeling scared.
Absolutely. It's just another business process. You wouldn't be scared about going out and talking to a client about what you do. And that's the approach you need to take with cybersecurity. It's something you talk to your accountant to get your year-end accounts done. Talk to somebody like us regularly to make sure you're cyber secure. We won't scare you. We'll outline the threats to your particular business and help you design a cybersecurity strategy to keep you secure. Just another business process.
Yes, excellent. And our websites, really, where I know a lot of our businesses also handle, money on the website. Our websites are almost like online homes and online offices, and this is not going away. As well as being in the 3D world and actually being in each other's energy physically, we also have representations online now. So it is a process that we really need to take care of and get on with. Am I right?
Absolutely, yes. And it's through websites as well that a lot of attacks happen, where people don't keep the back end of the website secure. They think, again, why would they want to go into the back end of the website? Well, that's because that's where they can get this lifeblood of your business, your data from, access your payment process, and steal people's card details.
Okay, I don't want to say that's scary, but it is. So, Bryan, what do you do for the health of your business?
Well, what a lot of people don't know was when I started my career, I was an accountant. So I was a management accountant. And so I understand how businesses work. So I use my accountancy training to keep my business healthy, looking at things like turnover, profit margin, markup, and keeping those in my desired range.
Okay, great. You're on top of things, as well as cybersecurity, accountancy. And how about your wellness? So how do you make sure you're healthy and well? Because those two are connected, isn't it? Like when our businesses are when our business is well and healthy, naturally we are. And when we are healthy and well, naturally we can perform better and do more for our businesses. So how do you keep yourself well and healthy?
You're absolutely right. Yes. Exercise has always been a big part of my life, but over the last 18 months or so, I have also been looking after my mental health and spiritual side. So I have a spiritual coach and do lots of meditation, look after me. And it has transformed both my business life and my personal life.
That's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I was at my community event 2 months ago. Obviously, that's my event, so I would be there. But we happen to have 4 lovely men who, are executives in technology in that community event. And every single one of them said something similar to you, that they were finding they love their areas. They love, working with AI. They love technologies. That's how they help their communities and help the world. I guess, that's their bigger purpose. But it's just so funny. Every single one of them were saying they're finding a form of spirituality, a spiritual practice, and engaging with that to balance the technologies that they're engaged with every day. And they were saying, so interesting, they were reaching to this conclusion that science and spirituality was never supposed to be separate. And it's really, humans are humans. We are physical beings, also soulful beings, and they can all merge, and our whole health supports actually our business as well. So that's what you're doing, looking at all elements of your health.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm disappointed, really. I thought I was unique.
You are unique.
Unique in the tech world, anyway.
You are absolutely unique. Like your energy, your essence, as I said, your lovely presence. We really appreciate having you at our networking events. You are unique.
Thank you.
It's also interesting that there's a bit of I don't want to say trend, because trends go, they're here today, not here tomorrow. I feel as humans, us finding our whole health and understanding our wellness is also connected in terms of business, our businesses too is the way to go. Anyway, Bryan, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there one last message you'd like to give to the businesses in the network? And also, if you'd like to tell us maybe your website, I'll put it under this video as well, how people can find you. Obviously, they can come to Canary Wharf Business Buzz networking event to see you, but
absolutely.
Not everyone can be there all the time.
So, one last message is you do not need to be the direct target of a cyber attack. You can be what I call collateral damage of a bigger attack. Talk to me at the next Business Buzz for that war story. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Bryan with a Y, and Altimas, ALTIM for Mike, AS, on LinkedIn. And my website is riversidecourtconsulting.co.uk.
Brilliant, Bryan. Thank you so much. As always, it's a pleasure to speak with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week at the event.
We will see you next week at the event, and as always, looking forward to seeing you there as well.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Bye.